Hi everyone, this is Lady T with Lady T Speaks TV, where we talk about relationships. So I left off with giving you tip number 3. So let's move on with tip number 4. We're talking about conflict resolution in romantic relationships. This is tip number 4. Pick your battles. If you want to have a constructive discussion, you need to stick to one issue at a time. Unhappy couples are likely to drag multiple topics into one discussion. A habit renowned conflict researcher John Gottman calls it kitchen sinking. This refers to the old expression, everything but the kitchen sink, which implies that every possible thing has been included. When you want to solve personal problems, this is probably not the strategy you take with yourself. Imagine that you wanted to think about how to incorporate more physical exercise into your daily routine. You would probably not decide that this would also be a great time to think about how to save more money for retirement. Organize your closet and figure out how to deal with an awkward situation at work. So you would try to solve these problems one at a time. This seems obvious, but in the heat of a moment, a fight about one topic can turn into a complaining session, with both partners trading gripes. The more complaints you raise, the less likely it is that any will actually get fully discussed. So that's what you have to think about when you're in an argument. You don't always have to argue. You can pick and choose when you argue, or you can pick and choose how you respond in an argument, is what I should say. So, you get to choose when you want to be in an argument. And what I mean is this, sometimes it's better to walk away. Sometimes it's better for you to not disagree or agree. It just means you need to walk away from the situation. And you don't want to just walk away. My suggestion would be that you say to the other person, listen, we're not going to resolve anything, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to just remove myself from the situation. And then maybe, when we cool down, we can talk about it again. We can revisit the topic. We can talk about the issue again. This doesn't happen always. Let's just be realistic. When you're in the heat of the moment and when you're in an argument with somebody, you become very passionate about your point. And so do they. So what normally happens with couples, and I can safely say this because I'm a couple myself, and I know that this has happened many times throughout the years. I might say something, and it may upset the other person. And then if they get upset, then they'll say something in return to upset me. And so everybody's not an arguer, but I am. If we're going to get into a debate, then we're going to get into a debate. And it's not always healthy because the other person may not know how to fight like you fight or know how to argue like you argue. And so it's sort of like a form of bullying. You're pressuring someone to be in the midst of a conversation that they're not willing to be in the midst of. And it can get really ugly and it can become very nasty. And again, like I said before in other videos, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. You want to think about what you say before you say it. Again, let me repeat myself. Sometimes in an argument, you lose that argument or you lose your temper and it just escalates into something really not good. But the good thing about that is you can always apologize. The good thing about that, if you're a mature person, you know whether you did right or wrong or whether you said some things that were offensive. You know that. And so then you take that opportunity to go back and apologize. Admit what you've done was not right. And then, give that person an opportunity to express their feelings. Often in an argument, we're trying to say what we want to say, and we ain't really trying to hear oftentimes what you're trying to say. And that's another thing that you have to think about. You have to be an active listener. You have to really be thinking about what they're saying to you. Put yourself in the other person's place and be able to navigate that conversation in a better way, a healthier way. And that is, it takes time and it takes practice. And again, these are things you can do. If the other person is not willing to settle an argument or issue and they want to carry it on and on, you're in trouble. And you have to really think about what you need to do, what next steps you need to take. But overall, you need to learn to pick your battles. That is tip number 4. This is Lady T Speaks with Lady T Speaks TV, where we believe that relationships are worth saving. And that's what we talk about. Relationships, relationships, relationships. I'll come back. I'll give you tip number 5. Think about these things. Ponder these things. Allow what I said to resonate with you. Think about the times that you've been in an argument where you wanted to win, or you've been in an argument where you lost, or you win. Really both people lose truthfully in an argument when you're in a couple relationship, when you love one another. Nobody wins in an argument. That's why you want to keep the peace at all, if you can at all possible, if at all possible. You want to keep the peace. And it's just a practice that you should do when you care about people. You don't want to deliberately hurt them. All right, then. If you like the content here on this YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, make a comment, like. And again, I told you my email address is ladytspeakstv@gmail.com. Leave a comment, write me an email. Tell me about your difficulty having conflict resolution in your relationship and how you want to solve it. All right, I'll see you all when I see you.